Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I'm here on the show, and I'm here on the show to talk about some wrestling. We have a lot of stuff I want to discuss here. So first thing I want to talk about is from most of my news here from Fightful. So let's get around to it. So first thing I want to talk about is MJF. There's several in WWE, per Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful Select, who are very interested when MJF's contract ends. Uh, we spoke to a few. MJF went as far as to tell one WWE tell, quote, I can't wait to be here next year, but it's MJF and he's going to do MJF things, which is very possible. I think this could just be a MJF doing an MJF thing, just trolling WWE, trolling the WWE fans, thinking, oh, he's going to come to WWE now that he went as far to tell talent, I can't wait to be there next year. But I think this is MJF doing MJF things. I think secretly he's worked out a deal with AEW, but it, Tony Khan, MJF, or any of his representatives are not going to say whether he signed a deal long term with AEW yet until 2024. So I don't think MJF's going to leave AEW to WWE, at least in my opinion, because he's become more of a star in AEW. He's their biggest thing going right now is the AEW champion. So I think WWE, yes, I think they are interested in when his contract ends. I think some talents WWE would like to have him there. He'd be one of their biggest heels, but I just think it's MJF trying to troll people, thinking that he's going to WWE, but then he'll eventually come out. He's going to re-sign with AEW for multi years. So next thing I want to talk about is Bryan Danielson. They talked about the most demoralized he ever was, and Bryan Danielson, when he was in WWE, he said the most demoralized I ever was is when he was seeing Kofi Kingston lose to Brock Lesnar. I remember Kofi Mania. I remember he beat it was Daniel Bryan at the time, and WWE beat him at WrestleMania for the WWE Championship. And he had a decent little run with the championship, but just it was just demoralizing seeing him get squashed to Brock Lesnar in like 7 seconds. Um, just sucks seeing Kofi Kingston have that title reign for that long and just see him lose it like that in 7 seconds to Brock Lesnar just for Cain Velasquez to return so you could have that match. It was just demoralizing. I bet it was demoralizing for a lot of people. I really bet it was demoralizing for a lot of people backstage. Kofi, Bryan Danielson, the most demoralized he ever was, and probably some other people as well. Paul Heyman, he was talking about The Rock. He said The Rock could have had a great 15-minute match. I don't think anyone would have wanted that. I think some people would have wanted it against Roman Reigns. I disagree with this part. But I agree he could have had a great 15-minute match. But I think people just need to get over it. I think people just need to realize the fact was The Rock just doesn't want to work with WWE right now. I guess he's maybe not in the ring shape he wants to be, and he maybe just doesn't want to wrestle. He just doesn't want to wrestle right now. And WWE needs The Rock more than The Rock needs the WWE because The Rock's just he's really popular in the obviously in Hollywood and running the XFL and he just probably just doesn't want to wrestle right now. I think people just need to get over it. Internal live events reports say last night's show was the highest grossing SmackDown/Raw event in DC and WWE history. The crowd was very loud last night. You could even hear it on TV. According to some people there, it was really loud. And on TV, the crowd responded very well. So Triple H bringing some good crowds for these events. Decent SmackDown last night with the Cody and Roman confrontation. They haven't went all out yet, so that's what's gonna make. It was a good promo last night, but it's gonna get even better as the weeks go forward with Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes. WWE talent told Fightful Select. A WWE talent tells us they've considered taking a boxing fight and may end up doing it. I don't know what WWE talent this could be. Maybe Logan Paul, because his brother Jake Paul does boxing, and I think Logan Paul, since it says WWE talent, it could be Logan Paul, which doesn't surprise anybody because his brother does boxing, but it could be somebody else out. Maybe Matt Riddle, because he's still in WWE after he's been gone a few months. We'll see. Tony Khan. 2023 will be the biggest year yet for AEW. I have major announcements coming soon. And it's another year, another week, Tony Khan saying, oh, we have major announcements. I feel like the major announcements thing is a meme at this point. The last one was, what, Adam Cole and some new AEW show? I don't even know. So the announcements are just disappointing. I don't know if 2023 will be the biggest year yet for AEW. I think it has the potential to be, but I just don't know. But I hope AEW does have a good year, though. Jeff Jarrett, the next breakout star, will be through their mic skills, not a new move. And I agree. I felt the next breakout star will be through their mic skills. MJF got over through his mic skills. Because he's really good on the mic, and he's a really fantastic heel. And he can put on some good matches, too. MJF's a good wrestler. And perfect on the microphone. But the next breakout star, I think, will be through the microphone. We'll see. Wade Barrett on potential in-ring return. I'm not ruling it out. He's not ruling out, but he sees his future in commentating. Which Wade Barrett's a really good commentator, so I'm not sure he'd want to get back in the ring. He's not going to rule it out, but it's highly unlikely Wade Barrett will return to the ring anytime soon. But I hope he does. But he's a really fantastic commentator, so I'm not going to complain. I hope 6 months from now, people are still clamoring for more Sammy. More for Sammy. That's what we do. We try to make stars out of everyone within our orbit. Paul Heyman hopes fans are clamoring for more Sami Zayn in 6 months. So basically, Paul Heyman's saying here, he hopes the fans don't turn on Sami Zayn, that they're still clamoring for more Sammy as they're chanting. So I agree. Hopefully the fans are still clamoring for Sammy, don't turn on him. I'd like to see him win the championships, but I just don't think it'll happen because I felt the crowds would turn on him, like they do with every baby face. But we'll see. Next thing we'll talk about is Tony Khan. He's happy for talent to take outside opportunities as long as it doesn't hurt AEW. It makes sense. It grants AEW more exposure while also getting the talent more experience. So, yeah. Think about some more news. Ricky Starks on being backstage at the WWE Royal Rumble, so he was on backstage. He's on being backstage at the Rumble. He said, "I don't give a shit about tribalism." I mean, the quote just made him the smartest man in the wrestling business. I don't think none of the wrestlers do. They are just happy there's so much more jobs out there, and good, neither do I. It's the worst thing in professional wrestling. The wrestlers from different companies hang out with each other all the time when they are not working. You have Bayley and WWE and Sasha in New Japan. Bayley was at the New Japan event supporting her friend, so like the tribalism is the worst thing in professional wrestling. People from other companies hang out all the time. So, Keith Lee details how Vince McMahon abandoned Gorilla to have a meeting with him during Raw over the Bearcat name. Whatever. Tony Khan would love for All Elite Women to be a show that's picked up. You're the booker, dude. Just book more than one women's match per show. I'd rather they just have women wrestle more than one match per show. They don't even put the women on the show. They only put like one women's match per show. AEW Dynamite drops 19% in overall viewership. Tony Khan next week is going to have a super duper, overly huge, stupendously glorious announcement. Watch. Britt Baker hopes and prays that someday we see Mercedes Moné in some capacity in AEW. She would absolutely carry that women's division. Man, she would absolutely carry that women's division. Because that women's division, I don't know. I don't know. There's a person that was asking Tony Khan about Eddie Kingston quitting. It's a storyline. Tony Khan said to stay tuned. to pro wrestling. I love how Eddie Kingston works everyone. He uses wrestling terms and making everything non-kayfabe makes everything kayfabe. I can't believe people actually got worked by that. Like, come on. Of course he ain't quit. Um, so Tony Khan said that this is from the media call. He said that a lot of the Ring of Honor AEW crossovers has ceased on Dynamite and Rampage in its final battle. He means specifically the championships as opposed to talent. So he said that a lot of the crossovers ceased on Dynamite and Rampage in its final battle. He notes that having a 60-minute Iron Man match on AEW Revolution does mean that there are less matches on the show. So at least it's not going to be too long of a pay-per-view. That's going to have less matches. And he says Adam Cole's AEW return and journey back will be chronicled on AEW All Access. His return will be the lead-in for AEW All Access. So, I guess we're going to have AEW All Access on Adam Cole's return. So Britt Baker gives her thoughts on AEW All Out Media Scrum. Remember the CM Punk situation, the Young Bucks, Kenny Omega. Especially after a huge pay-per-view. That pay-per-view was amazing. One of the biggest houses we've ever had. That scrum was heartbreaking. It was embarrassing and it was disappointing because it felt like in this moment in time, it felt like a disaster. I hated that media scrum. Like, I like CM Punk, but he annoyed me for how he complained about everything for 30 minutes. And the AEW's never felt right since that scrum. I don't know. Bryan Danielson said, I would love to go on first to AEW Revolution. I want to go to bed really early. Well, that's a mood. He's the best. Find some more stuff. Bully Ray said he doesn't think Dudley Boy's reunion is possible because of Devon's physical condition. And I'm pretty sure nobody asked for a reunion. They already had that in WWE years ago, though. And to be fair, Bully can't wrestle anymore either. I think Impact needs to move on from Bully Ray, not Billy Ray. Charlotte Flair, I'm not a good guy. I'm not a bad guy. I'm the woman. Copying Roman Reigns is Flo. Copying Roman Reigns is Flo from a few years ago. Remember when Roman Reigns said, I'm not a good guy, I'm not a bad guy, I'm the guy? Oh, let that crap go. So yeah, that's all to say wrestling videos. Until next time, Peace.